Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to cover all of the rewards and what has the most value when it comes to Hut Champ. So this year in NHL 22, they changed the reward system entirely. No longer is it just based on how many points you got and where you finished among all of the players. It is now based off of wins. So if you've gotten 11 wins, you'll receive a certain pack, but you'll also receive collectibles. Same goes if you get 15 wins, all the way into the top 100, all the way down to just one win. So we're going to break down what those sets are worth and what I think that you guys should go after. Now, obviously, this is going to change depending on your situation, but I'll talk about that when I go through each set. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for the most up-to-date NHL 22 content, and check me out on TikTok as well. Link is down below. All right, guys, let's get into it. So anyone that does not know, maybe you're just taking a look, Hut Champs has rewards that are now based on, again, how you ranked and specifically wins are more often than what everyone is going to be judged by. So in the top 100, it works a little bit different. You get depending on where you actually ranked. But then as you go down the line here, you'll see anyone that gets 15 wins, whether you finish 200th or all the way down to 750. If you had 15 wins, you'll get the same reward. So it's a small pack, essentially a small pack reward, as well as some Hut Champs points to go towards next week, so you don't need as many to qualify. And then various different levels of Hut Champions collectibles. So you'll see here at 15 wins, you'll get 6 Hut Champs collectibles, and then 13 gets you 5, 11 gets you 5, which is a mistake in my opinion, and then 9 gets you 4, and then it goes all the way down. So we need to discuss what is the best route when it comes to these collectibles. So let's take a look at the rewards. All right, so let's take a look at the Hut Champion set. So these are the sets that you can use your Hut Champs collectibles for, and there's 2 tiers here. You can go with exclusive Hut Champions player item sets or just the collectible sets. We'll start with the player items because that is what everyone's focus is going to be early on. Just before you look at anything else, you're going to say, oh, I can now get the Hut Champs players. This is a great change because outside of just the top 20 players in the world on each console in the prior games for Hut Champs, no one else got a guaranteed card. Now, literally, well, technically everyone is now guaranteed a card if you save up enough collectibles or if you go for a cheaper option. So if you look here, there's 2 options. It's Gabe Vilardi and it is Ryan Graves. Both are phenomenal cards, and they both come in different levels. So if you want the 89 version, the best version of them, it is going to cost you 11 Hut Champs collectibles. Now, the issue with that is that, to get them inside of 2 weeks, it's going to cost you 6 and 5, essentially. So you have to get at least 15 wins in one of the 2 weeks. Now, the majority of the player base probably can't do that. If you're watching these videos, a lot of you can't get 15 wins in Hut Champs, which is fine. It's just going to take you at least 3 weeks no matter what. Because, I mean, if you get to 11 wins, that's the same as 14, essentially. So a lot more players can obviously hit that level, and that'll get you 5. So 5, 5, 10, and then you need 1 more to get the highest level. But is this the best set to go out and do? Because, again, we have to take a look at what each of these Hut Champs collectibles are worth. And to do that, we're going to have to start first with the packs that you can do. So outside of the 2 players that you can go out and acquire, all right, and again, various levels requiring different costs, we can now go to this side here. Now, let's say you don't want the players. You're not interested in them, and maybe you didn't collect enough of them. Maybe you only got a few wins, and you only have 4 collectibles, or even 3, let's say. What do you do with those? What is the best way to go? So there's a couple options. You've got the PowerUp Collectible. That'll cost you 1. The Elite Pack will cost you 1. The Mega Players Pack will cost you 2. The Jumbo Elite will cost you 2. Jumbo Elite Players Pack will cost you 3. And the Ultimate Pack will cost you 4. The Ultimate Choice Pack costing you 5. So I went through and I broke down the entire value of what you will get if you did not pull something huge. So the problem with packs is that you're gambling. You're literally just gambling, hoping for a big pull. So let's assume that, much like the 99% of the player base that opens up packs doesn't pull anything, what is the minimum value that you will get when you do these packs, and what ends up giving you or providing you at least the baseline best value? Because, again, you have to assume that you're not going to pull anything, because if you assume that you're going to pull anything, I hate to break it to you, but I've opened up my fair share of packs in my time playing Hockey Ultimate Team, and you just can't bank on that. So again, it's going to depend on a couple of your situation. It's also going to depend on if you're cool with, just gambling entirely and not pulling anything. So let's go ahead and break each one down and determine the value for them. All right, so first, it's going to be the PowerUp Collectible. We'll take a look at the value. So this is only going to cost you 1 Hut Champ collectible, obviously very cheap. So what is the value of one PowerUp collectible? Well, we can determine that by going to see what the set would actually cost to make them. So there's two options to make PowerUp collectibles. You can trade in 36 gold players. And again, this could be any gold player. So let's say 74 to 79 even, it does not matter. So what you have to do is just go to the buy now price range and set it to about 750. I'm on PlayStation 5. And as you can see, it actually goes much lower than that. So right now you can probably make them for under 700 even. So that's, awfully very cheap, even 650, but let's assume that it's 700. Now, it's going to be different for every console, but 700 times 36 is 25,200 for one collectible. Now, let's see. The 80 plus, it only requires 18. The cost for these is going to be a little bit different, obviously. All right, so I'm on PlayStation 5. It appears to have the biggest player base, so there's a lot more cards in abundance. I was on Xbox Series X a little bit earlier when I was doing some numbers, and at 1,200 appears to be what the normal is, so we're going to go with 1,200. So 1,200 times 18, that's 21,600. So right now, you can make a PowerUp collectible for 21,600 coins. But there's also a third option. You can just straight up go and buy them from the auction house. They're going for in between 23,000 to 25,000. So as it stands right now, you can make 18 80 plus cards will get you 21,600. So no matter what, that is the cheapest. And honestly, that's at 1,200. There's a lot of the times where it's at where those gold cards are going for just 1,000 or 1,100. So that even lowers it even more. So right now, one Hut Champ collectible equals about 21,000 coins if you were to go the PowerUp route. Now, which types of players should be on the lookout for this? Now, obviously, if you've gotten all of your X Factors leveled up to their max, or really you don't have a lot of high-end ones, for example, Matthew Barzal, 85 and below, they don't require a collectible at all, meaning that you really have no use for them. So if you don't have Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid, or even Alex Ovechkin and, all the way down to Seth Jones, there is really no need for you to go that route. So I probably wouldn't spend them on the PowerUp collectibles, at least this week. You could always save them. That is always an option. However, let's say you're free to play, you got Austin Matthews, and you haven't been able to afford it. Maybe you've gotten all the way to his 88 overall tier, and you were able to, either spend 100,000 coins or you got his base card. The next few tiers do require a bunch of collectibles, and that would be where I would probably recommend to spend them. So if you have one of these high-end cards and you haven't been able to afford to actually upgrade, then yeah, this is probably the route for you, just based on how cheap it is to get these collectibles. In terms of value. So about 21,000 coins for each collectible if you were to go the PowerUp route. All right, so let's move on to the pack. So first up, we've got the Elite Pack. Now, this is going to give you 10 cards with at least 5 80-plus overall players. Now, you have to assume you're not going to pull anything. For all of these numbers, it is based on what you're guaranteed to get. Obviously, if you get one huge pull, that's going to, obviously shoot your value up. But you have to go into it expecting that you're not going to pull anything. That's just, the intelligent way to go into this. Now, if you're gambling or if you want to actually, try and get a huge pull, go for the glory play, absolutely, that's fine. But I just want to talk about the minimum value, what you're probably going to get if you were to go this route. So the Elite Pack is guaranteed to get 5 80-plus overall cards. Those are going for at least, on average, 1,200 coins. That's going to net you 6,000 coins. There's also the other 5 trash cards that are in there. We're going to average that at about 300 coins because it could be a gold jersey. It could be a celebration, could be a bronze jersey. Doesn't matter. We don't know what it'll be. We're going to average that at about 300 coins, which is about 1,500. So this entire pack is worth about 7,500 coins in value guaranteed per one collectible. So already you can see the PowerUp collectible is worth quite a bit more in value. That's going for about 20,000 coins in value, whereas the Elite Pack is going to give you about 7,500 guaranteed in value. Now the Mega Pack, this is 30 cards, 15 gold players, 4 of them are 80 plus overall. So let's go over what's guaranteed. You've got 4 80 plus cards, that's going to give you 4,800 coins. You've got another 11 that are, at least bare minimum golds. Those could go for about 750. You're looking at about 8,250 coins there. Then you've got the trash, the rest of the other 15 cards, which will value at about 4,500 coins. So in total, that's going to give you 17,550 coins in total for this pack. Now, obviously, this costs 2, so that's going to average out to 8,775 coins per collectible. Also, something else you want to think about, the Mega Pack costs 37,500 coins in the store, so that's under the 20,000 no matter what if you were to look or go the collectible route. All right, the Jumbo Elite Players Pack, this will also cost 2. This is 20 items with 11 that are guaranteed to be 80 plus overall gold cards. So for that, you're going to guarantee yourself 13,200 coins plus the trash, which is about 2,700, which is guaranteeing you 15,900 coins in value, or just under 8,000 per collectible. So the Jumbo Elite Players Pack worth a little bit less than the Mega Pack. Now, obviously, the odds of pulling something are higher on these cards, so keep that in mind. But again, you have to assume that you're not going to pull anything. The Jumbo Elite Players Pack is 20 cards, all golds, with 18 guaranteed to be 80 and above. The value on this, 21. So the value on the Jumbo Elite Pack is going to guarantee you 21,600 coins with another 1,500 guaranteed, bringing it to a total of 23,100 or 7,700 per collectible, as this one shoots up to 3 to get this pack. Now, the ultimate packs. I have a feeling this is what everyone is going to chase. They're going to ignore the value, so let's see what they are worth. Now, ultimate packs, the 20 all 80 pluses, okay? Now, I don't know how many times I've opened up an ultimate pack from Champs or anything else and gotten 82 overall players throughout the entire thing, not one purple. So, keep that in mind. Again, what is the guaranteed value? Guaranteed, 24,000 coins or 6,000 per. It is a rough time if you go this route and do not pull something of value. Now, obviously, if you pull an 83 and above, an 84, that's substantial value because those cards are going for quite a bit. The 83s, I believe, are going for about 5,000, again, on PlayStation. The 84 is going for about 15, again, because of how the event sets work. So keep that in mind, but nonetheless, there's a very strong chance that you don't pull anything above 82, and that's going to net you 24,000 coins or 6,000 per collectible. And then lastly, you've got the Ultimate Choice Pack. So this is only 15 cards. Obviously, it's a choice pack though, so you get to choose among the cards that you get to pull and have the best odds at pulling something good. But again, let's assume that you don't pull anything. You're looking at 18,000 coins or 3,600 per collectible. Again, guys, 5 collectibles. That essentially means that you had at least 11 wins, or the next highest before 15. That's a substantial investment, because if you cash in 5 for this, that means that you'll have to wait at least another 3 weeks for one of the players, and we're going to talk about the players in a little bit, and you might not pull anything, and the value on that is 3,600 coins per collectible. So awfully tough value there. It is very, very tough if you do not pull anything, but again, there's a high chance that you will, but I just want to bring you guys at least the base numbers to know what you're going in with, okay? All right, now let's discuss the player items, because there is some pretty crazy value here. Let's just take a look at the 89 overalls, all right? So they require 11 each, and then it gets far cheaper as you go down. So the 88, dropping 1 overall, will get you 8 collectibles required, and then it goes to the 87, which, again, that one requires 6, and so forth. So let's take a look at the players and see which one is the best value. All right, guys, so the first one we're going to talk about is the Gabe Vilardi. Now, center is one of the weakest positions in the game. There's just not a lot of top-end cards that you can go out and get. So we have to look at comparisons, okay? That's the only way to determine the value of these cards, all right? X factors that it does, I mean, Leon Draisaitl it kind of compares to, but we're talking 1-to-1. Which kind of cards do they compare to? And honestly, right now, it'd be the 91 Austin Matthews. Now, Austin Matthews is a much better shot, but when you take a look, their size is almost identical. Their speed, it's only one more improving from Gabe Vilardi. So obviously, this is a much better card. Everything about it is better. The synergies, the extra thief synergy. The zone ability is not really, but nonetheless, he's, a little bit faster. His shot's far better. Hand stats are all better. But nonetheless, this is a comparable card. So let's take a look at what this Austin Matthews is going for right now on the market. So tradable, we're looking at about low 200s. Let's say this one's not selling at 200,000. Let's say for, to make it easy, we'll say it's worth 200,000 coins. Okay, so 200,000 coins for this Austin Matthews. All right, so now the 89 is not as good as this Austin Matthews, so we'll knock it down to about 180,000 coins would be what the value was for a card like Gabe Vilardi. Like, if pretend that you could buy him on the auction house, I would say about 180,000 coins based on cards that are incomparable. So Austin Matthews at 200 roughly, Gabe Vilardi at about 180. Now, unfortunately, his speed drops every single time you go down a card. So if you do the 89 set, you're going to get 86 on the 88, 85 on the 87. It goes down one every single time until, I believe, the 86 has the same speed as the 87. Now, if we go and look at the 89, because that is, the one that's closest to the Austin Matthews, about 180,000 coins, let's say he's valued at that. That's 16,300 per collectible, because it's going to cost you 11. I would not do that. It's not good value for this Gabe Vilardi. While he is very good, you could go get that 91 Austin Matthews for a little bit more coins and use these collectibles elsewhere for something else, or maybe a different player, which is what we're going to talk about right now. I do need to mention, I don't think any of the other Gabe Velardis are worth it because his speed is so slow and these cards will not upgrade, meaning that once you cash them in, you know, all that you're going to be able to do with them in the future is cash in. Let's say if there's an event set that requires an 89 overall, you could probably throw them in there. So just keep that in mind. So the other option is the Ryan Graves. Now, left defense is probably the weakest position outside of center. Those two positions are the weakest, and it is nice that they gave us those options because there just isn't a lot of top tier options for those positions. 6'5", 220. That is end game size. All right, you can't improve your size attribute. So he is perfectly built to be a great defenseman in this game and has the quick pick superstar ability. His speed is high enough at 87, acceleration 87, and agility is 89. His slap shot is great, 93 power, 82 accuracy, and he's got booming shot, which gets his agility up even higher, and his slap shot power touches 95. In all honesty, this is probably the best left-handed defenseman in the game when you talk about his 89. Now, comparables. All right, so there is an easy comparison because there is not very many good left-handed defensemen in the game, and it is also another Superstar Origin event item, and that is the 88 Victor Hedman. It's very clear and obvious to make that comparison because, well, he's 6'6", has quick pick, and his speed is 86, acceleration 85, agility 85. So that Ryan Graves is a much better skater. Now, how much is Victor Hedman going for? In the auction house right now, let's see again before the event ends, he's going for the low 100,000, which is pretty crazy when you consider it. So you could go out and get Victor Hedman right now for 120,000. You can also make him as well. You can make his set item for 84,000 coins if you do the limited one, but let's assume you're watching this throughout the year or maybe after that first event. Once the event ends, guys, 220,000 coins is going to cost you to make this card untradeable. So the tradable option right now, honestly, the 119 is very, very low. And I honestly think that there might be a chance to flip him once the event ends, because if there's no other good left-handed defense, you know what? I'm going to invest right now. I'm going to shoot my shot and think that 120 for this Victor Hedman is actually very low. That's a whole other market thing that we're going to talk about. So let's assume, again, that Victor Hedman is the comparison. Now, behind Victor Hedman, there is not really anyone else. At center, at least, there are some options. You know, again, Leon Draisaitl, Crosby, Matthews. There's a lot more that you can choose. Left defense, there really isn't anyone. These two guys are going to be absolutely dominant on your team. So when you break that down, again, the problem is that he's only going to, only cost, let's say, I got him for 120,000, right? You divide that by 11, the collectibles that are required. That's 10,900 per collectible. Here is the thing. You do not need to go get the 89 to be as good as that Victor Hedman, because the 88 does not drop his speed. He does not see a speed drop until the 87. And in all honesty, he has better skating at his 86 overall. His shot power is almost the same as Victor Hedman's, and his shot accuracy same, almost exactly the same. The only big difference is that Victor Hedman has a much higher defensive awareness at 95 and stick checking at 90, and obviously that extra synergy and zone ability. But the zone ability I wouldn't recommend upgrading, and Quick Pick has it. I'm not going to lie, guys. Again, you can't upgrade these cards in the future. But let's say the majority of the player base did not get, more than 5, okay? Because 6 would be if you got 15 wins. In all honesty, this is probably the best value. Okay, because the 86 is very comparable to that 88 Victor Hedman, okay? And with that booming shot activated, it's, in my opinion, better. So if you consider that, it's only 3 collectibles to make this 86 Ryan Graves, which would end up being worth about 120,000 coins. So when you do that math, 120,000 divided by 3, that's 40,000 a collectible. Now, obviously, this card will eventually get outpaced rather quickly because he's only an 86 overall, and he's got 86 speed with no synergies that upgrade that. So you have to keep that in mind. But we're already in that mindset with Victor Hedman. If you were okay with going out and spending a couple 100,000 coins on Victor Hedman, you need to be okay with this Ryan Graves. You cannot teach size or raise its attribute. There's a reason why these gigantic defensemen are worth so much, and that's because in their own zone and defending the blue line, they are absolutely unstoppable. So, while I think for free-to-play players, the 86 is the route to go. I think that it is the route to go because it is very cheap, and you will get a ton of value out of it, at least for another month or so. And then at some point, his speed will become too much of an issue. But the 86 and 89 versions, there's really no reason to save up all of your collectibles over 2 weeks. Let's say you get 15 wins, and then you come back with another enough to get 5, right, or 15 wins, and now you've got 11, and next week you can get this 89 Ryan Graves. Why? Like, one more speed attribute, that's not worth it at all, in my opinion. So, the best value in this entire set launch is this 86 Ryan Graves. Now, again, a lot of players that are top end probably won't go for this, but I just want to give you guys the numbers that you guys can see it here. I'm not making it up. Like, he is very comparable to that 88 Victor Hedman, and he's going for about, 120,000 coins. I just bought him. However, I think he will shoot up. So, I would recommend, if you do not have a top end team, that this Ryan Graves would be an option for you. Because outside of the team builder, Ulf Samuelsson, Francois Beauchemin, it is very weak among left-handed defensemen, and this card would sit with Victor Hedman for quite some time on your blue line. So, guys, in the end, maybe, that's kind of a hot take, but I just wanted to give you guys the numbers. I think that going and looking back at it, none of the packs are really worth it when you consider the value split. It's obviously PowerUp Collectibles are worth it. That's one. One for one, that's 20,000 coins in value, and that will help a lot of players that have higher end, X Factor cards, okay? After that, the 86 Ryan Graves, it is tough to argue that he is not a phenomenal card. So just keep that in mind. In all honesty, if you're not going to go after that Ryan Graves, I wouldn't go after the 87, 88, or 89 even. I would probably just take the 86 and be happy about it. I would probably just save the rest of your collectibles until something else comes out that's a little bit more substantial, because as the weeks go on, you're going to want, there's eventually going to be a Hut Champs card that you're going to have collectibles for that you can get out, and that's just going to be an incredible card all the way through. That will happen eventually. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.